how in Hollywood some directors rocket straight to the top and others crash and burn? M. Night Shyamalan's story is the ultimate roller coaster. Born Manoj M. Night Shyamalan in 1970 in Mahe, India, and raised just outside Philadelphia, he was a filmmaking fan from childhood. He even changed his name to Night after reading about a Lakota person whose name meant night, hoping to give his own name some mystery. By 17, he'd shot 45 home movies and earned a full scholarship to NYU's film school. His first feature, Praying with Anger, 1992, he financed himself with family loans, and later he co-wrote the Disney kids hit Stuart Little, 1999, Under the Table. Then came 1999, Shyamalan exploded onto the scene with The Sixth Sense. Starring Bruce Willis, it was produced for about $40 million and grossed a staggering $673 million worldwide. It earned him 6 Academy Award nominations, including Best Director and Best Screenplay. Suddenly, Night Shyamalan was an overnight sensation. The Sixth Sense was even the second highest-grossing horror film ever at the time. Critics crowned him Hollywood's next big visionary. Rolling Stone put it bluntly, The Sixth Sense gave Shyamalan the reputation of the guy who makes the scary movies with a twist. In short order, he was the man who could literally sell a movie on name alone, like Spielberg, as one source put it. Disney and other studios saw dollar signs. By 2001, Disney had snapped up his next project, Signs, in a lavish 8-figure deal. His 2 Disney films, Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, had already grossed nearly $900 million worldwide, according to Variety ABC, and Unbreakable, 2000, another Bruce Willis team-up, did solid business, $248 on a $75 million budget, and became a cult favorite. Then came Signs, 2002, and The Village, 2004, each with big twists and big box office. Signs, with Mel Gibson, eventually made over $400 million globally, and The Village, an old-timey thriller, made $257 million on just a $60 million budget. By the mid-2000s, Shyamalan had 9-figure successes and was Hollywood's hottest writer-director. In fact, by 2004, the cumulative gross of all his films had topped $3.3 billion worldwide, a meteoric rise by any measure. Everything looked golden. Shyamalan even formed his own production company, Blinding Edge Pictures, in his Pennsylvania hometown, and he charmed the press by promising more twists and scares. But then, almost as if his career itself had a twist ending, the 2000s took a turn. Starting in 2006, he began churning out flops. Lady in the Water, 2006, which he wrote, directed and cast himself in, bombed. Critics savaged it and audiences stayed home. It only grossed about $73 million on a $70 million. Ouch. Next was The Happening, 2008, a weird plant kills people eco-thriller. Reviewers hated it. It sits in the teens on Rotten Tomatoes, though it did make $163 million on a cheap $48 million budget. Then came the worst of all, The Last Airbender, 2010. Fans of the beloved cartoon cried foul and critics pounced. It's regularly listed among the all-time worst blockbusters. Even though it pulled in $319 million worldwide, the $150 million production gave studios heartburn, and by 2013 his After Earth with Will Smith and son Jaden was the final straw. It grossed only about $60 million domestically and earned 3 Razzie Awards for Worst Picture and Worst Director. By now, M. Night was in the doghouse. The once celebrated storyteller was lampooned in pop culture. Shyamalan's stuttered denouements became the punchline of late-night monologues. And even his name became a running joke, Shyamalan-ding-dong, etc. Critics and blogs openly wondered if there was a bit of racism in how harshly he was being treated for just having a funny name, but they more often pinned it on his own swagger. They pointed out that Sixth Sense Unbreakable Signs Village had set impossibly high expectations, and when Lady in the Water through After Earth all cratered, he plummeted from grace. One Guardian critic even asked if the Indian-born director was held to a different standard than his peers. His confidence, once an asset, now looked like hubris. Hollywood largely gave up on him. Big studios wouldn't finance his thrillers anymore. By 2014, people assumed Shyamalan's career was over. But he did what any underdog would. He went independent. Teaming with Blumhouse, the low-budget horror studio, he quietly shot The Visit 2015 for just $5 million. No press junkets, no pomp, just a creepy found-footage chiller about strange grandparents. To everyone's surprise, The Visit exploded. Critics called it a return to form, and audiences flocked to it. It grossed $98.5 million worldwide, nearly 20 times its budget, reviving Shyamalan's reputable Buoyed by that success, he doubled down. In 2016, he released Split, a low-budget Marvel-style thriller about a villain with 23 personalities, James McAvoy in full McAvoy mode. Once again, Shyamalan largely self-financed it and kept the budget tight, around $9 million. Split opened to strong reviews and became a box office behemoth, earning $278 million globally. Suddenly, the Uncanny Valley director was back on top. Even those Disney execs who ditched him had to blink. Split was Blumhouse's highest-grossing film to date. Shyamalan rode this wave into 2019 with Glass, the long-awaited sequel that crossed Split with his earlier Unbreakable. In a telling sign of how far he'd come, he took out a mortgage on his Pennsylvania home to fund it, so he'd retain creative control. Glass earned about $247 million worldwide on a $20 million budget. It wasn't as beloved by critics as Sixth Sense, but it cemented that Shyamalan could still deliver big returns on modest investments. In 2021, his beach thriller Old, PG-13 horror about a rapidly aging beach, was a modest hit. Knock at the Cabin, 2023, a pandemic-era thriller starring Dave Bautista, did okay too, about $54.8 million worldwide on $20 million. Along the way, Shyamalan branched into television. He was an executive producer and co-creator of the Apple TV Plus series Servant, 2019-2023, about a grieving couple and a sinister nanny. In 2025, he even won a high-profile copyright trial over Servant. A jury unanimously rejected claims that Servant copied another filmmaker's movie. That victory quietly capped his comeback story. The director, who was once derided, was now vindicated in court. Through it all, Shyamalan's personality has remained the same: bold statements, steadfast belief in his vision. He's known for popping up in cameos in all his films, just like Hitchcock, and shooting close to home around Philadelphia. He set up Blinding Edge Pictures not far from where he grew up. Fans still divide over him. Some love his twisted finales. M. Night movies get me every time, reads a fan tweet. Others roll their eyes. But you have to admit one thing: the man won't stop swinging. He literally put his own house on the line to make Glass. Talk about having skin in the game. So where are we now? M. Night Shyamalan is no longer the untouchable wunderkind of 1999, but he's also far from penniless. He's had a career few can claim: a Sixth Sense peak, A Lady in the Water Valley, and a Visit Split rebound. And he's not done yet. In 2026, he's still making movies. Whether they become cult favorites or just cult jokes, they get people talking. Most of his fees aren't public, but early on he was reportedly offered $40K to play Voldemort, which he smartly declined. Today, he would certainly command millions per film. For now, Shyamalan's career is in holding pattern mode. He's got new projects lined up, and though he's in his 50s, plenty of time to surprise us again. Love him or hate him, one thing is certain: M. Night Shyamalan's life has had as many twists as his movies, and he's still writing the next scene.